third grade, so I am here to show you today how to turn your sketch into a final. We did our sketches last week. They were simple, quick designs, but what you want to do this week is make sure you have your 3 layers of overlapping. So go back and listen or read my feedback that I gave to you to make sure that you have multiple layers to help push things forward in your spaces to create depth. So you might want to look at your sketch, so set it to the side so you can redraw it. You're basically redrawing it, but you want to push with a little bit more pressure this time because a lot of your lines you know are going to be finalized. So my ground line can stay the same. I can still have that really cool little grass level, but this is where I'm going to start making things look a little bit more specific to what I want them to look. And I might even want to use a tool like a ruler or a straight edge so that I can actually make a straight line. So I'm going to do that with my boxes. So my first one, I'm just using a simple straight edge. It's actually a bookmark from my latest teacher planner. And I'm just using this to make my nice straight lines. And you can turn your paper different ways to do that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if a line's supposed to be straight, you want it to look straight. So use a ruler when you need to. Then I had another layer or block overlapping on this side, so it went up a little bit more. And you can obviously make small adjustments. If you realize that something was too high or you wanted to put another layer in, you can. And since this is your final, remember you can push a little bit harder with your pencil. Unless you know something's going in front of that line, then you're gonna want to leave a little bit more space for things. So I've kind of shortened this block a little bit. I wanted to put something else here, and this is where I'm gonna change my sketch a little bit. And I'm gonna come up, make another line. So the idea is to create lots of overlapping. And then I wanted this mushroom to continue. So notice I stop it on this side. I'm gonna draw the lines that I wanted for my mushroom. And then I'm going to line this back up so it looks like it goes from one side down to the other, okay? Since I am doing my details now, it is time to start putting in those little things that you need to make these details work. In Super Mario Bros. 3, each of these little blocks had almost like a screw or a nail in the corners of the environment. So I wanna make sure that I keep those pieces there, and they just kind of look like they had a rectangle inside of them, almost like this was a screw holding this piece together. For the mushroom, I have to just slightly change my designs, and notice I'm going much slower, being much more intentional this week. Now, the question is, do I have 3 layers of overlapping? Even though I have 4 elements here, this mushroom is only in front of this block. That is not 3 layers, that's 1. This block is in front of this and this, but because there's nothing behind either of those, that still only counts as 1 layer. So to help me get those 3 layers, putting some more details, maybe I'm gonna put a bush that comes out and goes behind some of these elements. Now all of a sudden I have a second layer. And if I put that big, giant hill and have that coming from behind that and add my stripes, that becomes another layer. Look at how I have this is layer 1, behind this becomes 2, 3, 4. 4 elements, and then I still have the sky. So if I were to go back in and add my clouds, and Mario clouds almost always have a face in them of some kind. So I can have that, and then look, if I even put another layer of clouds behind here, even though you can't see it, it goes off the page, you know it's there. I have multiple layers. So the idea is you're creating your environment to do lots and lots of layers. You can also start on your characters this week, but you do not have to finish them. We have next week as well. So take your time on these. Maybe you're gonna do something slightly different. I think I wanted a Goomba position here, and I'm going to look at the shape of the Goomba, and this time I'm going to be a little bit more detail oriented with drawing him so he looks a little bit more like he's supposed to look. So I'm taking my time to draw my guys. All right, and we'll talk about Mario and other characters next week. Just keep building up your layers for now. And my little trick with my blocks, to make them look like Mario blocks, you definitely want to use a straight edge and make them look straight. And they are supposed to be square, so make sure that you're doing your squares and not a rectangle shape. But the idea is to make them look like bricks. You draw 1, 2 lines, and you break your block up into thirds. Draw 1 line down, and that splits this into 2 bricks. Your next line needs to go in the middle of the one before it, and then in the middle again, and that will give you that brick illusion, and that's how Mario World creates its bricks. So the dividing line is always from the brick above. And then this has to be kind of like a block letter question mark, so that that can be white and the block can be yellow. All right, so you can see I've got the sketch and the version of the final. This looks a little sloppier, this looks a little bit neater, okay? And we can continue working on these next week, but this is a good place for me to stop this week. All right, I'll see you next time.